next episode of How Much It Costs to Get Off the Ship, Hilo Edition. This is one of our 2 stops on the Big Island, where I am testing the saying that you will always spend $500 when you get off ship. That's how much it costs to get off, is what they say. I do not buy alcohol, so I'd say I'm down to like 200, but we're still gonna test it out. I am running errands for my manager, and then I'm getting lunch at a coffee shop, so we'll see.
So my manager just had me going over to Safeway because she wanted some drinks, some snacks, and then some stuff for her friend who just got a promotion. So I Ubered over to Safeway, and then I Ubered over to the coffee shop that I like. This coffee shop, I honestly don't really like the drinks here, but they have these nachos I really like, so I keep coming back to it even though the drinks just really suck. But these were the groceries that I ended up getting. I bought myself a couple snacks, so that's what the total is on the screen. Obviously my manager paid me back for everything that was hers, and it was like drinks, snacks, things that were allowed to have a board, and then flowers for her friend who just got a promotion. I got this pistachio latte, which was a special they were having, and it had pistachio butter in it, and it was not very good. I was not fond of the taste of the pistachio butter, and at first it wasn't quite sweet enough, and so then I had to ask them for more vanilla. And which is weird because last time I came here their drinks were like way too sweet, so it's not very consistent here either.
So usually when I get off on Hilo, I also go to the farmer's market area, and then I get like poke, and then I'll like wander around because there's like little outdoor shops, little indoor shops. It's really good for window shopping. But I don't have time for that today, and usually I only do that if I'm going to eat poke over there, which is the best poke I've literally ever had. But I don't have time for that today, and so I'm just eating here at the coffee shop. But usually I'll wander around there, and then that's actually where I got this little like romper thing that I'm wearing. It's not like a romper, it is a skirt, but it has like shorts underneath, and it's like it's blue and white, and I really like it. It's my favorite, and it was only $35, which is really good for out here. But I did get this over there, and so sometimes I do like little bits of shopping. But yeah, I'm not going there today, but usually I would head that way if I had time. And also, so I got, my manager was like, if you go and get like a lift and tint, then you don't have to curl your eyelashes or put on mascara. And so that's what I did. And so now I also don't have my glasses because I shipped them back to Texas to get the lenses replaced, so I'm wearing contacts. And so now every time I see myself, I'm like, what is that? Okay, so this is my lunch. I have this nachos with Kahlua pork. I like it because it's not like heavy like most nachos usually are, so a lot of times I'll come and eat here and I'll eat this. It's pretty good.
But anyway, after that, I just took an Uber back to the ship, and that's all I would usually do when I get a long lunch on Hilo. The other place I really like going is the farmer's market. The issue with the farmer's market is Ubers over there are so expensive, and it takes them a while to get to you. And so it's not usually the most convenient place to go. It's also hot. Nothing there is like AC, and I sweat a lot and I hate it. And so I don't usually like to sit outside while I eat. But I found out they have this super convenient shuttle that takes you from the ship to the farmer's market. It runs every half hour. So that makes going there a little bit easier. And my camera was being really funny, so I apologize if it's not like focusing on things right. That's why I kept zooming in and out. But either way, it brings you to the farmer's market, which has a bunch of different stalls. It has one area that's more for like clothes and souvenir items, and one that's more for like food. But this is also where the poke shop is that I like to go to, and this is my favorite poke that I've ever had. I always get the spicy ahi, and then I'll usually get the macaroni salad and the edamame as my sides, and it's so big that you can usually eat like half of it for lunch and then save the rest for dinner, which is good because it's like $20-something for one of these bowls. But it's really, really good. I like it because the fish isn't so like chewy, which is usually my problem with poke because it's like hard to eat raw fish, but this one is always really, really good. We had a really long lunch this day. So me and my coworker Lexi walked around the farmer's market a little bit and just did like general shopping. I can't remember what she was looking for, but she was looking for something in particular and she didn't end up finding it. But I ended up finding this pin that I really liked. It was like a butterfly pin, and I thought it was really, really pretty. And they had a bunch of different designs, and this one was just my favorite. So I got that, and then once we were done at the farmer's market, nearby there's a bunch of like indoor stores, but they all have like open doors, so you just kind of wander in and out, and it's like good for window shopping. And so we decided we were gonna wander around and we were gonna window shop, but we agreed we weren't gonna like go into any stores because neither of us really wanted to like look at stuff. We just kind of wanted to walk by on our way to get coffee. And so we agreed pre-hand that we weren't gonna go in anywhere. And then like every 2 stores we passed by, we were like, ooh, this one looks kind of good. And we went inside like 10 different stores for no reason. But this was one of them, and they had these adorable little figurines. And my favorite one were these little ones. And I thought they were tops at first because of the way that they have a pointed head. They look like they should be a top, but it's all loose like this. And so it's really fun to spin. But I thought these were really, really cute. And either way, it was really funny that we just kept finding new stores, and we were like, I mean, we could go in this one. So it took us way longer to go and get the coffee that we were gonna get. We also went to this one pareo shop that had like $60 pareos. Like, that's so expensive for absolutely no reason. But we checked that one out, checked out a couple different stores, and then as we were walking, we passed by a tattoo parlor, and my coworker was like, want to get a tattoo? And I was like, okay. And she believed me. She was like, yeah, really? We're gonna go? And I was like, no, we're not gonna go get tattoos. And she was like, I mean, I might get a tattoo. I was like, I don't think we have enough time. And she was like, it's just gonna be like a small one behind my ear. I was like, that feels very spur of the moment. And she's like, no, I've wanted it for a while. I just haven't gone and gotten it. So I was like, okay, we're gonna go and get coffee. And when we are back from getting coffee, if you still want it, we'll walk back and you can get a tattoo. And so we went to the coffee shop, got our drinks, and then she went, okay, let's walk back now. And so then she ended up getting her tattoo behind her ear.
These are cute.
They look cute.
That is the most grandma thing
Isn't it?
anyone has ever pulled out.
Imagine pulling it off and people being like, wow, she looks great in that.
I'm so offended.
This was the coffee shop that we ended up going to. It's honestly the only one I have found on Hilo where I actually like the taste of the coffee. They have a lot of like roasteries and stuff here, and I just don't like the way their drinks taste. This one is the first one that I've liked. This was my second time there, and I've liked everything both the drinks that I've gotten there so far. The thing is, they don't have a lot of like flavor options, so I think they literally just have like vanilla, mocha, and caramel. Like, that's it. And I could be wrong on those. They might not have caramel. I wouldn't be surprised. But anyway, so I got my coffee. She went to go get her tattoo. I didn't want to sit there the whole time. And a couple of our other coworkers were like, hey, while you're out, can you get us stuff to eat? And so I was like, yeah, that's fine. So while she got her tattoo, I walked back over to the poke place, because right next to it, they have a place that sells acai. And so I got myself one, and then I also got some for my coworkers. And I just sat there and ate it because I was like, it's gonna take her a little bit to get her tattoo. And then once I was done, I walked back and she still hadn't finished. So I walked to a shop nearby that sells like board games and card games and stuff like that. And I just looked at those until she texted me that she was done. And then we ended up just Ubering back to the ship because we didn't have time to wait for the shuttle. And so we split that Uber cost, and then that was that day. I mentioned in a different video that there was a tsunami recently. A few weeks ago when we were on this same island, we had a long lunch, so me, my manager, and a couple of my coworkers went out and had lunch. And when we got back to the ship, like an hour later, we get over the intercom, the captain being like, hey, so we just got word there's a tsunami coming. We have to be like out of port in an hour and a half. Like, we cannot stay in port. The US Coast Guard won't let us. Anybody on land has to get back to the ship before then, otherwise we have to leave them. Like, otherwise, because the ship will slam into the port, that's dangerous. And so we had to be like out of there, and so it was like a really like high stress situation for everyone.